Welcome to my 3-minute review of a 2021 MacBook Pro 14, upgrading from a 10-year-old 2012 MacBook Pro 13. My 2012 MacBook Pro was the first year of the Retina display. I customized it with a upgraded dual-core i7 CPU. It came with 8 gigs of RAM, and I upgraded the SSD storage to 512 gigabytes. The battery life was 7 hours of wireless web, and it weighed just over 3.5 pounds. As configured, it cost $1,800 or $2,400 in today's dollars, adjusted for inflation. 10 years later, using a pre-configured setup, you get 1 more inch in the display. Actually, that counts for 2 million more pixels. Substantially faster processing power, double the RAM, double the storage, and the battery life goes up 4 hours to 11 hours of wireless web surfing. The weight stays about the same, just a shade lighter, and at a price point that's about the same after calculating for inflation. Here they are side by side. The new MacBook Pro is in space gray, which was not available as a color option back then. While about the same size, the thinner borders on the new MacBook's display means you get 2 million more pixels in the same form factor. Here you can see how similar they are in size, with the older MacBook having more rounded corners. Here you can see the new MagSafe 3 is a bit thinner than the old MagSafe connector. The 3 new Thunderbolt/USB 3 ports have replaced the 2 older Thunderbolt and the 2 older USB-A ports. The headphone jack is still on the left, and they moved the HDMI port closer to the corner in the new MacBook. The display is impressive, and you have to see it in person. The speakers are amazing, and I could not believe the sound was coming from a laptop. The MagSafe 3 cords are braided and seems more durable than the old version, which I had to replace quite a few of. The new MacBook Pro runs very cool. The fans have yet to come on. Big improvement over how hot the old ones and the fan noise that came with it. The physical top function key rows are back, replacing the touch bar from the previous generation, and the Touch ID is actually also pretty handy. Things that I was less excited about. The power brick did not come with an extension cable, which means if you don't want the power brick to block other power plugs, you need the extension cord. Luckily, the old extension cables are compatible with the new power brick. The keyboard feels a little bit different, maybe a little bit more hollow sounding. Still not quite as good as ThinkPad keyboards, and I really wish they had the page up and page down keys above the cursor keys. Another thing that was a small change, you can no longer adjust the keyboard backlighting using the F5 and the F6 keys. You need to now do it in the software control center. I was surprised that coming from a 2012 MacBook, that the Apple logo on the back doesn't light up, but this does not affect how you use, since you don't get to see the back of the MacBook while you work on it. I wish they still had a USB-A port, since I still have legacy devices that use them. I wish they just had one. And lastly, migration tool was actually very easy to set up, but over wireless, it took quite a few hours. Overall, super impressed with the performance, and I hope it'll be as durable as the old MacBook Pro and last another decade.